In the morning, before the world has a chance to define who you are given a very small moment to speak to yourself. When the first light of the day is still gentle, the room is still quiet, and the mind has not yet been pulled by noise, responsibility, or expectation. The way you speak to yourself in this moment can quietly guide the entire day ahead. Morning self-talk is not just a passing thought. It slowly becomes the direction of the mind. When the mind arises in awareness, the new day opens more lightly. When the mind arises in haste, the whole day easily drifts into fatigue. According to the teachings of the Buddha, strength does not lie in resisting life, but in the ability to guide the mind before it is carried away. What you are about to hear is not meant to make you stronger than others. It is only meant to help you return to the steadiness that has always been within you. There are 7 simple reminders. You do not need to believe them right away. Just listen, slowly, and allow the mind to recognize its own path. Lesson 1. I am not my past. In the morning, sometimes memories return even before the first breath. As soon as the eyes open, the mind pulls in old stories, things once said, things once done, things left undone. There are moments when we have not even touched the ground, yet the heart already feels heavy, because the past quietly walks into the new day with us. According to the teachings of the Buddha, suffering does not lie in the appearance of memories. The human mind naturally remembers. Suffering begins when we believe those memories are who we are. When we look at an old mistake and call it myself. When we look at a period of weakness and think that this is who we will always be. In the spirit of Buddhism, the past is only experience. It records what has happened so that we may learn, not so that we remain imprisoned. It is not a sentence passed upon the present self. That happened, but it is not who I am in this moment. Morning is a rare moment. The mind has not yet rebuilt the entire story about who we are. In this very brief space, we can choose to see differently, not denying the past, but not holding it tightly, not rejecting pain, but not allowing pain to define us. When this is understood, beginning again no longer feels like a grand act. It happens very quietly, in a slow breath, in a softened thought, in the simple inner sentence, I allow myself to begin again, right in this moment. The Buddha reminded us that no one can save us but ourselves. And that saving begins with not identifying ourselves with what has already passed. Each morning, it is enough to remember that the present moment is always more open than any old story the mind once told. Lesson 2. My energy needs to be protected. Morning is the time when the mind is most easily pulled away. As soon as the eyes open, attention wants to run toward messages, plans, sounds, and everything waiting ahead. We have not done anything yet, but inside, we already feel worn down. Buddhism does not call this a loss of energy. The Buddha called it a scattered mind. When the mind keeps running from one thing to another, we feel tired without knowing why. The body is not heavy, yet the heart feels empty. Not because we are doing too much, but because the mind is not resting anywhere. Each thought pulls a little away, each reaction takes a portion of attention, until we feel drained right at the start of the day. To protect does not mean closing ourselves off from life or avoiding people. To protect means knowing who we are opening to, what we are opening to, and for how long. It is realizing that not everything that appears needs to be held. Not every call needs to be answered immediately. When we learn to choose, the mind naturally settles. Morning is the clearest time to practice this. Slow down before picking up the phone. Give yourself a brief pause before letting the world come in. Take one deep breath before responding to anything. Even a single moment like this is enough to bring the mind back to its center. When we live just a little more slowly, we begin to feel enough. No need for more stimulation. No need for more information. No need for more urgency. The Buddha taught that knowing enough is wealth, and that wealth begins by not allowing the mind to scatter from the very start of the morning. This is how lasting steadiness is gently nurtured each day. Lesson 3. What I need. "I already have morning" easily makes us feel that we are not enough. As soon as we wake up, the mind begins to compare, to think about what is missing, what has not been achieved, what needs to be added for today to feel meaningful. That sense of not enough quietly guides the entire day, causing us to move in haste and unease. According to the teachings of the Buddha, suffering arises from craving, not because we have nothing, but because we believe we need more in order to be at peace. When the mind places happiness ahead of us, in some future condition, the present moment immediately feels lacking. But if we pause in this morning, we can see a very simple truth. The breath is still flowing in and out. This body is still here, healthy enough to stand and move. The mind is still aware, still able to see light, hear sound, and feel emotions as they arise. Just these three things are already enough to live this day fully. Buddhism does not teach us to abandon dreams or goals. We can still move forward and nurture wholesome aspirations. But the path is not meant to be guided by a sense of lack. When lack takes the wheel, we keep running and never truly arrive. When contentment becomes the ground, each step grows lighter. Morning is the right time to remind ourselves of this. We do not need to become someone else to be at peace. We do not need to achieve something more right now in order to be calm. Peace does not live in a future version of ourselves. It can be touched right here in this present moment. The Buddha taught that happiness is not having much, but needing little. Lesson 4. I walk with mindfulness, not with pressure. Pressure often appears very early, right from the morning. It comes from comparing ourselves with others, with the pace of life around us, with invisible standards we believe we must keep up with. It also comes from the fear of being slow, the fear of falling behind, the fear that if we do not move faster, we will miss something important. When pressure leads the way, every step feels heavy, even before the day has truly begun. In the spirit of Buddhism, life is not measured by speed. The Buddha did not teach people to live faster, nor did he teach them to escape responsibility or withdraw from life. The path he pointed to is the middle way, where we still walk and still live, but are not pulled by haste or driven by force. Pressure naturally softens. We are no longer pushed forward by fear, nor pulled backward by regret. A day does not need to be perfect to be meaningful. It does not need to be filled with achievements or clear results. What matters more is enough awareness to recognize that we are alive. When the mind is aware, even small things have their place. When the mind is not aware, no matter how much we do, we still feel empty. Morning is the time when we can reset our pace. There is no need to chase others. No need to force ourselves to move faster than yesterday. We only need to walk in accordance with our own capacity and circumstances. This quiet inner reminder is gentle, yet strong enough to guide the whole day. Today, I walk at my own pace. The Buddha taught that the path is not ahead of us, but beneath our feet. When we walk with mindfulness, each step is already the path. And when pressure no longer pushes from behind, a sense of ease begins to appear in even the smallest movements of daily life. Lesson 5. What belongs to me will arrive in its own time. There are mornings when the heart feels heavy from waiting. Waiting for a result, waiting for an answer, waiting for something to happen so we can finally feel at ease. When things have not yet arrived, we easily believe that we have missed an opportunity, that we are walking the wrong path, or that life is being unfair to us. In Buddhism, the Buddha did not speak of a fixed destiny. He spoke of cause, conditions, and results. Everything that happens has its causes and requires the right conditions to arise. Some things come when conditions are sufficient. Some things leave when conditions are no longer present. Not because we are lacking, but because what is needed is no longer aligned. When we do not understand this, we tend to grasp tightly. We try to hold on to people, to work, to directions that no longer nourish us. We call it effort, but inside there's exhaustion and unease. Buddhism teaches that letting go is not giving up. Letting go is not gripping what is causing us to suffer. Letting go is allowing things to unfold according to their natural process. Mourning is when worry about the future most easily arises. At that time, remembering cause and conditions can soften the heart. We still do our part with sincerity and effort. We still plant wholesome causes through our actions, words, and intentions. But we do not force results to appear according to our will or our preferred timing. This inner reminder helps us walk more lightly through the day. I do my part, and I release the rest. When we stop straining to control, the mind begins to relax. In that relaxation, we can see more clearly what truly fits us. The Buddha taught that all phenomena arise from conditions. When we understand this, we no longer rush to blame ourselves or the world. We learn to trust the process, to be patient with the present moment, and to allow what belongs to us to arrive when the conditions are complete. Lesson 6. My mind is the place I return to. In the morning, the mind easily runs. As soon as the eyes open, one thought follows another, pulling us toward plans, worries, memories, and even things that have not yet happened. We have not left the bed, yet the mind has already traveled far. At such times, we often think we need to control the mind, force it to be calm, to be positive, to stay on the right track. But the more force we use, the more the mind resists. In the teachings of the Buddha, the mind is not tamed through suppression. He did not teach people to silence the mind by force or to fight against thoughts. The path he showed is much gentler. It is to look, to know, and not to follow. When a thought appears, we only need to see that it is present. There is no need to push it away, no need to analyze it, no need to believe that it speaks the truth. Thoughts come and go like clouds passing through the sky. If we chase them, the whole sky becomes restless. If we simply stand still and watch, the clouds dissolve on their own. Morning is a very good time to practice this, because the mind is still soft and has not yet been pulled deeply into the movement of the day. When a thought arises, we can gently remind ourselves with something very simple. I see this thought, and I do not need to follow it. That single sentence is enough to create space. In that space, we are no longer dragged away. We no longer have to fight with ourselves. We simply return. Returning to the mind does not mean there are no more thoughts. It means we do not lose ourselves inside them. We still know that we are breathing, sitting, and present. From that presence, a sense of ease gradually forms without effort. The Buddha taught that there is no path leading to happiness. Happiness is the path itself. When we learn to return to the mind in each moment, that path is already open. And each morning, it is enough to remember that the mind is a place we can return to, no matter how noisy the world becomes. Lesson 7. I live to spread a sense of ease. Not every morning do we wake up wanting to change the world. Most of the time, we simply hope to feel calm enough to move through the day. In the spirit of Buddhism, that is already enough. We do not need to do something grand to create an impact. If one person suffers a little less, if one moment feels lighter, the world has already shifted in a very quiet way. When your mind is at ease, you do not need to say much. Your presence naturally brings a sense of safety to others. A gaze without judgment, a full and attentive listening, a slower response amid all the rushing. These small things often carry a greater influence than any advice or argument. Buddhism teaches that the deepest impact does not come from what we say, but from how we live. When we live with mindfulness, others feel our steadiness. When we live with compassion without trying, that compassion still reaches outward. We do not need to prove that we are better. We only need to be present in an honest way. Caring for our own mind comes first. When the mind is less tense, words naturally soften. When the mind is no longer in opposition, actions become gentler. From there, a sense of ease spreads without intention. The inner reminder for the day is very simple. Today, I live with kindness toward myself and toward others. Kindness is not exhausting sacrifice. Kindness is not adding more suffering, not hurting ourselves through blame, not hurting others through unconscious reactions. The Buddha taught that conquering oneself is enough. What you have just heard is not 7 things to memorize or write down. They are simply 7 reminders to help you return to yourself, to return to the breath, to return to the body that is present, to return to the mind that is aware. Each morning is a very small opportunity, but when it is lived fully, it can soften the entire day ahead. You do not need to practice everything at once. Just choose one sentence from the 7 for today. Say it slowly inside. Breathe in gently. Breathe out slowly. Let that sentence move with the breath, like a quiet anchor amid familiar movements. Here with this channel, let us move slowly together, listen more deeply, and live more gently each day, starting from this morning.